Most of the time in the film industry, we only see the happy smiles of all the celebrities, but they all have a dark past. And today, we're going to tell you 5 celebrities that have dark pasts, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 5, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey has overcome the odds to become the most powerful African American woman in television. Winfrey is a talk show host, TV executive, and philanthropist who has had to overcome an extremely difficult upbringing. The media mogul has spoken frankly about her past troubles, which involve a childhood mired in physical and sexual abuse from family members, which culminated in a pregnancy at the age of 14. However, Winfrey's son died only a few weeks after birth. She finally started to break out of the cycle when she was sent to live with the man she calls her father, Vernon. Vernon made Oprah's education a priority, and she excelled in school before starting a career in media. Winfrey was the youngest news anchor and the first black female news anchor at her local station in Nashville, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Wanted your mother to be, and in many cases, your mothers and your fathers can't be what your ideal is.
What do you learn out of your love for her?
Right.
My mother and I had a complicated relationship.
She never knew me. She never really knew who I was.
The love that we're seeing Oprah give the universe really was born.
Number 4, Jim Carrey. Funny man Jim Carrey has been making generations laugh for years with his performances in Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, and The Mask. However, he hasn't always been where he is today, and for a long time as a teenager, Carrey had to struggle with a life of abject poverty. Although Carrey's father Percy had been a successful accountant for many years, Percy lost his job when young Jim was only a child. Ever since that moment, the Carrey family's lives changed dramatically. The family had no steady income to support themselves and ended up living out of a van. Things got so bad that Carrey dropped out of high school at the age of 15 to work as a janitor and earn some extra money to keep things afloat. He always wanted to be a comedian, but his family struggled to support his dreams. Thankfully, the Carrey family managed to get back on their feet, and in 1979, Jim Carrey moved to Los Angeles to pursue his comedy and acting career. Of course, the rest is history, and Carrey became one of the biggest stars of the 90s and 2000s with his hilarious comic performances. Number 3, Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was a child star who made a successful transition into acting full-time, but unfortunately, Barrymore's success came at a cost, especially in her younger years. Like Robert Downey Jr., Barrymore was introduced to alcohol and drugs at an extremely young age. By the time she was 11 years old, the star was already hooked on alcohol, and it would only be a few years later that the E.T. actress became addicted to cocaine. Barrymore had grown up in an acting family. Her godmothers are Sophia Loren and Anne Strasberg, whilst her godfather is none other than Steven Spielberg. However, she clearly couldn't cope with the attention after her appearance in E.T., and her drug abuse soon became a favorite topic in the tabloids. At the age of 14 years old, her partying ways finally caught up with her, and the actress spent time in a mental institution after a suicide attempt. Number 2, Cyndi Lauper. Before Cyndi Lauper hit the big time in the 80s with a string of musical hits, she was forced to work as a stripper to pay for musical equipment. In the mid-80s, Lauper began stripping in a nightclub in Queens, working under the name Carrot. Apparently, her boss wasn't impressed with the musical career and told Lauper to stick to what she was good at and keep dancing. Sadly, that wasn't the only ordeal Lauper had to go through before finding fame as a singer. She was sexually assaulted by a band member whose girlfriend held Lauper down during the attack. However, Lauper got the last laugh when she encountered her attacker working in a dead-end job several years later. He was working in a deli and she was already an international superstar. Number 1, Mackenzie Phillips. Mackenzie Phillips is a singer and actress who is best known for her role in American Graffiti. She is also the daughter of John Phillips, a singer in the popular 60s band The Mamas and the Papas. Her career struggled for many years due to her problems with drug addiction, but fans soon realized what had caused the difficulties when she made a bombshell announcement on The Oprah Winfrey Show. At the age of 19, Phillips revealed that she had woken the night before her first wedding to find herself having sex with an attacker. The man turned out to be none other than her father, John. Phillips confronted her father about the attack months later, but he simply replied, "Raped you? Don't you mean we made love?" This led to a Stockholm Syndrome type relationship which lasted for several years. Fortunately, Phillips has been able to put this experience behind her and now lives a clean and sober life with her husband Keith Livingston and her son Shane. This brings us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future. We hope to see you next time, guys. Goodbye.